lot of people who assisted in this. The writing teachers who are sitting over there, if you could please stand. They were standing, I can tell. Basically, the senior writers and the teachers, we get submissions in December. We go through quite a few submissions from freshman through junior year, and we select the ones that we see best on the stage and would make a great fit for our show, and we work with them and we edit all the pieces, and then we decide what to put in the background, what to pair them up with, whether it's music or dance or just them by themselves on the stage. And they worked very long hours on this, and we are finally ready to get this going. So thank you very much, and enjoy the night.
We're going to go ahead and get started. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving break.
Miss Crammy, can we just have a free day today?
Are you Wait, are you kidding me? You just had 4 days off.
But Miss Crammy, I was up until like 1 in the morning last night working on my project and I just really need this today. No, that was a lie.
Well, then what were you doing?
Honestly, I don't even remember. Actually, I do remember. I was researching why cats are so afraid of cucumbers. This project has me so stressed out, Miss Crammy, I don't know what I'm gonna do!
No, we're doing poetry today. Sorry.
She can really be ridiculous sometimes. I mean, I know she's like the poetry teacher or whatever, but like, give us a break.
Didn't you guys just come back from a 4-day break?
Yeah, so?
I mean, that kind of makes you a hypocrite, doesn't it?
I mean, that kind of makes you a hypocrite, doesn't it? Like, that's what you sound like.
All right, before we start, I want to give you a heads up on some upcoming assignments. So, all right. So, a poem due for critique in 1 week from today.
Oh my god.
All right,
Miss Crammy,
2 weeks from today.
oh my god.
3 weeks, like got this. 15. This is it. 5 lines. That's it.
5 lines of poetry? Are you kidding me? That's like... That's like 20 words at least. At least. I mean, do we even get a life outside of this class?
Dear poets, to poets who have aged with ink stained in their skin, to young poets who have kindled emotions and collected the ashes into words, I pray to you. I don't fold my hands, reciting verses that have already ladened lips for centuries. I plant the root of my pen to the page, blossoming with just buds of ideas. So I plead to the souls who have confided in a piece of paper and are rebirthed from anguish, teach me to do the same. You, the journalists, spin straw into gold by sifting through the dull with your pencil to unearth life. You, the authors, tame a blizzard of desires, from flurried letters shoveled into sentences to permeate our minds. Others tend to you, the playwrights, when they seek sympathy. You magnify our single tear into a flood of consolation. With phrases of compassion and lyrics that sedate our pangs, you, the composers, conduct the metronome of our hearts, cradling each sensation with melody. You, the philosophers, dive into the abyss of your thoughts, sweeping us into an affair with our own. in tandem with the language you grieve by sacrificing yourself. And thank you, the poets, for breathing into the mic, amplifying silent lines on a once modest stage, and giving us your blessing.
A letter to employers. He walks down the street, all eyes on him. Judgmental glares pierce him. When he's home, his parents yell at him.
I don't want no godchild in my house.
His mouth closed, no words for either of them. He shuts himself away in his room, his safe haven. All eyes are on her. Brightly dyed hair, piercings lining her body, tattoos peeking out beneath clothing. People stare. She tries not to care. She needs a job.
Are you willing to take off your piercings and cover up?
The interviewer asks. It's the first and only thing the interviewer will ask. She knows the job will go to another. People stare. People stare. People try to make them up. To be yourself is to take out all your odd piercings, to wear certain outfits, to not dye your hair, to not be you. They know they must water themselves down, but after living half their lives being someone else, they wonder, now what? So she wears her piercings proudly. So he demands his parents' respect, that he is different. They walk down the street, confident, set apart. People stare, because they too are still clones. They just have yet to question it. To be accepted, you must be a clone. To be yourself is to be another.
Yeah, y'all.
I swallow my idea of paradise, gleaming in petaled gold, singing the hymns of the past away. I close my eyes, a quiet dawn has arrived. With the incantation of a bronzed morning, everything is at rest, just like the deferred sad evenings. I look around to see the sun in the clementine skies, flirting with the candied clouds, first playing hard to get, but then coming close for an intimate embrace. Raised in freedom fields under righteous skies, flowers laugh in this fragrant garden, bees intoxicated from freshly drunk nectar. I'm speaking, but where are my words? All I have are some tears and sighs of wonder. I, honey like the bees, adorned with a sting. I lost my name running towards the horizon. Nobody knows who I am here. I will take a spoonful of honey at sunrise, and I will train my tongue to lie still in my mouth and listen. If I were to linger here, deepen in the rottenness, I'd make instruments from the ruins. My soul, a wide listening sky, of thousands of candles, I throw my arms above and grow wings. My ascension, stronger, stronger than rage. And if I must go, then I will go like lightning, a force that shakes the earth. I bathe now in affection. I rest in the sanctuary of the garden. I sink from my ribs until the goldfinches can build a staircase to the nearest sky. I stand there, basking in the sun, brown and earthy, face streaked, brown and gold, where the sun melts hot wax onto my cocoa-buttered skin. Skies above drip with innocence as roses unfurl their petals akin to velvet dreams. Does it make a difference if the root remembers that the vines were here plotting against my roses, rooting themselves in my identity? The morning undresses the poppy, its dew, unfolding my own soul for love, following my footsteps or letting them follow me. It no longer matters because love returns each morning. The branches point towards my heart, the wind guides me by the wrist. Until then, taste the candied skies, and the dreamers walk lightly, finding myself within a dream, Soft voices echo upon air, vibrates in memory.
I've been drinking cups of tea to feel as warm as you make me. It's like a burn when the drink is too hot, but I'm much too eager to let it cool. Almost addicted to the feeling, I go back for more. We're a cup of tea. I'm the scalding water that sits concise and clear. You're the unknown herbs that remain a mystery to me, but you came into my life. You cloud my vision, leaving me in an aromatic haze. You've infiltrated my protective mug, steeping until I can't get you out. My idea of feminine intimacy seemed to dissolve at the thought of you. I haven't discovered what it is about you that attracts me. Much like a dream, we shared cradled fantasies between the crevices of our fingers. But that's all it is, a dream. Simple daydreams woven from a shared cup of tea, but water's too hot, and I'm not even sure if I like tea. With this foreign feeling, I'm not sure what I've become. All of this could have been avoided if one thing was different. I wish you were a girl.
She waits for me, perched in a torn leather chair. A half-devoured cigarette dangles from her lip. Her icy hands cradle my back the moment we meet, holding me in a reassuring embrace I never want to escape. Words and smoke dribble out of her upturned mouth, and I am captivated by her tranquility. I sit adjacent from her, legs crossed on a sturdier wooden bench, and begin to pluck at the fraying ends of my hair. I then move to mindlessly organize the contents of the ashtray between us, and she tells me she's never known someone so cautious. She tugs at the roots of her freshly buzzed hair, eyes roll into the back of her head as she screams with euphoria about the joys of living courageously. And as I boast about Friday nights spent with my dog, we realize that we have much to learn from each other. We share secrets over leftover chow mein as we chuckle about each other's absurdities and make unspoken promises about our eternal connection, as we both know there is no one in this world that we'd rather be sisters with.
When I close my eyes, I feel the colors of summer again. The pavement moves under the shadows of the leaves. Shifting clouds dance on my eyelids, rolling over the blue, escaping out of my sight. Leaves fall from the banks and hug the surface of her water, trying to find out the secrets down below. And she is welcoming. Her gentle flow syncs with the birds flying up overhead. My round cheeks given to me by my mother are flushed and red from trying to take in the trees with arms stretched out in euphoria, and the rays of sun on my skin that I know are fleeting. What can I do? The thick air hugs me and squeezes me down into the ground. The magnolia blossoms crumple into the ground. My fingers scramble to put them back together again, but before my hands can begin to touch the soft petals, my eyes open and the warmth is gone.
This pigment, this skin that you see, holds so much more history than you or me. It screams at the tide and howls at the sun. My God, tell them. The black woman was the first to walk, crawl, or run, life spared from the bones of this one. You see, we plant seeds inside of a sea, begging for us to drown, yet we float to shore without the presence of any crown. And the seed in which we plant and nourish throws words and terms at us as if we are the ones who cut down their stems to strive. The black woman is like earth, giving and taking, hurting and breaking, growing unnoticed, abandoned for some new foreign thing that appears appealing. Looks can be deceiving. And once you drop the black woman for your new taboo, know that she will continue to rise and flourish. The black woman, my God, she is the tear in which we were born in.
Eyes, I see fairies dance through her thoughts, twist and swirl to create a daydream, a castle built from blankets and a stick wrapped in lights to form a wand. I see her solemn stares. She knows something bad is about to happen. She understands the words that flutter past her, and so she decorates a box with flowers and climbs in. And she sees me, worrying, anticipating, but she doesn't know why. I can't let her know why. At dinner, she ignores the talk about me moving out and living far away. She gets up and pretends to be a monster, taking me to her lair. Her arms reach over her head, her legs spread big and wide, and she gobbles me up, using her whole body. She stays in her imaginary world until bedtime comes, until she can slip into a new fantasy, one that is totally hers, where she can control the color of the sky. Because in her head, she truly is the princess I see her as. Before bed, I kiss her goodnight. I say, I love you. And she drifts into a delusion-filled nightmare. Sweet dreams, my princess.
The moon floats above my bed. She woke me up last night, spilled rose water into my open mouth. Waves of wisdom poured over my lungs. It split me open. She told me that I am not a one-dimensional being. There is depth in you, pretty boy. You are a writer. You are rosewater lapping over lungs. You are breathtaking. She looked at me and whispered, her voice soothing and stern. Consent is a powerful gift, and you can take it back. You have spent too long hiding from that light, used as a pit stop for curiosity, for entertainment, to be used by another. I am luminescent. The moon enchants in her blemished beauty, and I deserve to do the same.
Take me back. A sound which is past all four walls and drones on lowly, followed by a loud clash of metal against metal, and then another, and then two more. Halls rumble and shudder from a string of startling bellows. Royal blue cargo pants fail to evoke conversation. The smell of fast food grease and cherry blossom perfume is pungent. Buddha invades my bedroom. Children with far-sighted vision trip over idiom lectures and fracture the farewell warnings of their parents.
Platinum blonde bowl cuts, even the asymmetry of nubbed down nails. Disapproval is sung in a chorus. The building poses a tacit persona. I won't get it. Acrid jaws jut outward in a mocking manner, redden of a pebble stuck in one shoe, pricking at the socket, causing a slight limp. Bending stairs wheeze, heads thump against a slab of finished wood and escape with a curt snore. The need to abandon gets no less. Sal liaisons puke at the tips of shiny shoes and rest a throbbing ear on the shoulder to their left. The fruit is a few days past rotten. Fractious behavior passes through a jaded contemporary as my voice sears away. Just keep going. Blue seems to be just as warm as red, and venom minds wend away from futile conversation and flee to an area unassailable, a hiding place, to appease the muted ache of uncovering nothing. Bleed's personas hug me from all sides and accept my palms stay grasped rigidly to my thighs. The desire to express appreciation is strong, but my unfamiliarity more commanding, restricting all attempts to return. My heart begins to calm itself. I heard the lines parade glitter. Strangers evade perception, hand their umbrella to another, and tighten the strings on their hood instead, hoping their ruddy mascara is inconspicuous and easy to remove later from the apples of their cheeks. Women with coils and pristine curvature link arms at the elbows. The overalls and striped turtlenecks didn't deliver the same satisfaction the next morning, so my mill screams only to throw it away and praise it. Don't bother. A sudden vertigo shakes me vigorously, like a child tugging at one's sleeve. Reverence surfaces as the view comes into focus. Is there anywhere else to be? An answer gnaws at my backside. I don't want to leave.
Yeah, y'all.
God, send me a rabbit hole.
Chapter 1.
I met a man under a wooden bridge with 2 dead goats. They were bloody and sinfully tampered with, skin and muscle pooling around their exposed bones, dark ticks burrowing into the raw meat. The man said to me,
I can't wait to tear into
Your throbbing flesh.
I said, thank you. He said,
Willingly give sacrifice to a stranger. Now, won't you grant me that favor?
I said that I would. I thought, fairy tale. He said,
Chapter 2.
A dragon egg sat at the curb of the bus stop. When I got off the bus, the driver said,
Dry your tears.
I asked, who are you? She said,
The bus driver.
I said nothing. She ran over the dragon egg before I could touch it. Why would you do that? I asked. The bus said,
Chapter 3.
I was home alone on a Saturday afternoon. A boy with a clay mask broke into my house. He looked like me, dry and black and cracked open. He said,
They're coming to get us. Take what you can.
I said, where have you been all my life?
We thought you were lost. The whole colony did.
Well, what took you so long? He said,
Chapter 4.
I walked under an overpass. Wild iron bars encrusted in red dust stuck out into the cold open air. They groan and then collapse all around me. Not a scratch.
Unusual.
The cops arrived with the news reporters drew the crowd, the rubble was cleared, and my mom ran to me, crying, checking my head for bruises. The news lady said,
How does it feel to be alive?
Terrible.
Back to you, Stephen.
My mom said,
Chapter 5.
I found a human finger in a pile of leaves and put it into a yellow ShopRite bag. I walked deeper into the woods to find out why. A fingerless woman approached me, asking me if I've seen what she was looking for. I said, no, I haven't seen a dog, but if I do, I'll let you know.
I'm sure she'll turn up.
Did you happen to lose a severed finger? The dog barked. the woman said.
Chapter 8.
A Wednesday evening after a day of school, I snap my fingers from the comfort of my bed, and after the 20th time, it works. The room levitates, my education glows and spins from my book bag, and nothing has ever been in a better place. My dad says,
"What was that noise? Did you get your homework done?"
"Things are changing for the better, Dad. I'm harnessing my magic since you never taught me how."
"But did you get your homework done?"
The book bag said.
Chapter 7.
My cat spoke to me last week. It said,
I wish you'd stop calling me that.
"Calling you what?"
My mother gave me a name.
"Why didn't you say something sooner?" It said nothing after that. I said, "Am I going crazy?" I said, "Am I going crazy?" The cat said. Chapter 8. I wake up from artificial sleep. I wonder what could have been if all those stupid things had really happened to me, and why I don't deserve to fall down rabbit holes. My feet ache from stomping over top of the rabbit's cavernous pathways in the dirt. I made it down there once, from force, not destiny, and nothing ever felt the same afterwards. The rabbits don't have pocket watches.
Chapter 9.
I try for sleep again. They tell me,
Stop trying, start dying. Give up on that dream of an earthly setting. Give up on that dream of an earthly self. You'll die and no one will notice as nature consumes your organs, chokes your open dead mouth with vines and...
I say I'm falling asleep. I say.
The end.
Living West, my godmother, died and left $50 in her will. Where would I be without that job? Don't forget to do your homework. Someone forgot the phone.
So, my day is just off to a really bad start. But I'm not gonna let that get to me. Are you kidding me? Watch where you're going! I try to live a very zen, peaceful life with very little distraction. I swear to God, if people were watching, I'd choke one of you. What's the golden rule? Oh, right. Treat others how you want.
We're on our way to the front lawn. We're hoping that all of this nature will inspire us to write our poems.
Alexis and Monique want to go outside. I don't think it's a good idea, but whatever. I mean, I guess.
I was excited about the whole riding outside thing, but then Karita showed up. She's, well, I'm not gonna say anything.
Do we have to go outside? I don't want to. Like, it's cold, and it's winter. So, you know. Okay.
What I will say, though, is she's... No.
Well, if you guys want to think about trees, you know, beautiful white trees, you can always go on Google and look them up. Or wait till after school and walk outside into the front lawn.
Insufferable. That's what she is.
She said I was insufferable? I thought we were supposed to be friends.
Someone's coming around giving them out, and he's right over here. If you want to raise your hand, and we'll get you them as quickly as possible. All right, hurry up. Can you two help him?
All right, raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands, raise your hands.
Okay, as soon as this is situated, we'll get started on our play.
guys order over there? I'm swamped with schedules for next week.
My shift was supposed to end 30 minutes ago. That's Mike's area anyways.
Michael got home sick 15 minutes ago. He threw up all over the men's bathroom. It was a mess. Please, you. Look, we can give him his meal and we can leave right after. It'll take 15 minutes at most.
The second I give him his food, I'm leaving.
That's all I ask.
Hi, welcome to Carl's Diner. My name is Julie. I'll be your servant tonight, and I'll start you off with a drink.
A black coffee, please?
All right. And can I take your order?
I'm so sorry. Could you give me a few more moments? I'm waiting for someone.
No problem. I'll be back to check up with you. I thought you were swamped.
You must just catch me at bad times.
Yeah, whatever. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's my date. Hello? No. I'm here at Carl's. No, you said 2:30. It's 2:40. Oh, so you're not? No, it's fine. Maybe could we schedule? No, I totally understand. I'll see you around. Bye.
Is everything all right?
How long have you worked here?
About 2 years. So can I?
2 years? That's a long time. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Jeff, kids.
Can I just take your order?
Has Gordon Ramsay ever eaten here?
What?
Gordon Ramsay, world famous celebrity chef, restaurateur, and television personality. Has he eaten here in the time since you've worked here?
No, he hasn't.
I'm making it a mission of mine to eat at every restaurant that Gordon has eaten at and enjoyed.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Are you still waiting on someone?
Your menu isn't very dietarily friendly.
What are you talking about? There's a whole 500-calorie envelope section.
I follow a very strict diet, miss. I don't eat lactose, I'm lactose intolerant, don't eat animal products, and I'm oxalate-free, which means I don't eat foods with oxalates in them, such as spinach, bran flakes, rhubarb, beets, potato chips, nuts, and nut butter. Oh, I also don't eat meat or meat products, and I don't eat anything raw, so I would say that your menu makes it quite difficult to order.
All right, I'm sorry.
What do you order?
Nothing. He decided to yell at me about Gordon Ramsay and his array of dietary needs.
Alright, give him a special.
In light of your, dilemma, it's our special, tomato soup.
But I didn't order tomato soup.
I know. But it is very delicious and comforting. Everyone likes our tomato soup.
But I don't like tomatoes. So hard on the outside, cold and mush on the inside. And how do they get them to be so tiny sometimes? I mean, when you eat the tiny ones, they pop in your mouth like gross facial blemishes. It's disgusting, really. Now you're thinking of facial blemishes. Oh.
I thought you would have said this would be quick. He just compared tomato soup to a facial blemish. It's the only thing I eat at this place.
It'll be fine. Just give him a few more minutes.
Yes, sir. You know what? Can you? I just want to go home. Can you please go do it? Please.
Yeah, I'm still here. Sure, yeah, I can wait for you. Of course. Yep. See you when you get here. Bye-bye. So, is there any way that you could, like, I don't know, take this back to the, the kitchen? Could you just take this back to the kitchen, please?
What?
So my date, she's like coming after all. So if you could just like.
No problem at all. Do you know what time she'll be coming?
No. And I told her that I hadn't ordered yet, so when she does get here, could you retake my entire order, please?
No problem at all, sir. I'm starting to feel bad. She still hasn't shown up.
Maybe he's lying.
Who lies about having a date and sits in a crappy diner for, I don't know, an hour?
I don't know. Maybe we'll give him the food he wanted an hour ago. He got hungry. Oh, then you can leave.
That's our only option. So I assume she's not coming.
I guess not. Sorry for being such an inconvenience. You can leave this here if you want to.
Do you mind if I sit in?
Oh my god! Waiter! Manager! Gordon! Somebody! Anybody! She's got meat, she's got lactose, and she's got animal products, and she's got oxalates! Your kidneys!
Sir, I'm gonna need you to calm down. I only gave you the oatmeal that my coworker gave you. This should not conflict any of your dietary needs.
Thank God. You can still sit if you still want to.
My pleasure.
I can't believe that worked. I can't believe that worked. I am the woman whisperer. Everybody take notes. This is how you get a date.
You got issues. Stop!
her eyes. Younger years have been erased, replaced with those sweet surprise. Look at them together, there's still sparks in their eyes. Not a thing will tear them apart, they'll be with each other until they die. Golden sunset used to be a surprise. Smile all night, wait for the sun to rise. Wait for the sun to rise. Wait for the sun to rise.
The blood from the heart that rushes through the body morphs boyish twig arms into feathered wings that prowl through neighborhoods and cover the sun. It shifts snot-crusted noses with recessed sweat into hooked beaks that pluck their worm women who are hidden in the dirt. It molds chubby feet into taloned toes, toes that grab, that puncture through flesh, and we're left with these hawk men with thick black tongues that prey and feast on worms. Worms who are supposedly destined to make soil fertile, who are supposedly destined to be snatched by hawks. But when do the worm women get to change? When do our bodies go through metamorphosis? At some point, we learn to bite off each other's heads, bury ourselves in our soil, and surround ourselves with the dirt we flourished in. Our veins shape into roots that sprout and tangle beneath the soil. We sculpt into thick bark with rough edges and budding ivy leaves where breath begins. Our arms become our branches where the birds go for shelter, unaware that everything they need and everything they have is because of us worm women.
I saw my best friends destroyed by love, drugs, and careless mistakes, who damaged their bodies and minds with the dangerous concoctions of meaningless sex, toxic relationships, and self-hatred that left physical scars, who pushed away the ones who only wanted to help due to their fear of being abandoned because they are too broken, who dreamed too big only to fall too hard, taking away any hope that once burned bright in their eyes. One who let his family break him down into the man he did not want to become, when he was too unprepared for the emotional stress hurled his way. He then ran away because his world was too much. He could no longer be a disappointment to his friends, and to that broken-hearted girl he left behind with only a necklace to remember him by. And the girlfriend he left behind became a hollowed version of herself, finding solace in drugs and the warmth provided by strange men she met online who were twice her age, who was once a straight-A student turned to a low D due to her disappearing acts underneath the stairwell. And then there was the best friend who went on a downward spiral, dumping his friends for pints of alcohol, grams of cocaine, who almost lost his life because he did not know when to stop and breathe. Born with a beautiful voice that could tell a story, but lost his motivation to perform due to his lack of motivation to live. And lastly, the girl who lost another person close to her heart soon lost herself. She drowned her sorrows in self-harm in bottles of antidepressants. She pushed away the world, believing it would hurt less. So then, on July 18th, she took her own life after years of misery. She left behind a grieving father, a heartbroken lover, and 2 lost friends who did not know how to grieve. The broken-hearted girl with the necklace sat tied up on the floor as the world laughed evilly in her face. She was forced to watch as one by one the world destroyed her best friends, and there was nothing she could do but sit and watch as the world violently ripped through her friends and slowly tore through her.
I was in love with an absent man. He took the words from my throat before they surfaced. I was no competition to his intoxication, inebriated with delusions of loving a stoner. Traveling as a wanderer with no directory, foreshadowing my ways through tunnel visions. The flow of his words, he speaks like a river, smooth and chaotic, gargled. I didn't catch if that was my name or not. We sit on the stoop of his parents' home. I share with him words of dead poets and say they're mine. He talks about flying, he says he's high, and I believe him. We find ourselves in the night. I lose him in the clouds. I call out to him. He's on his own. I stare back without retaliation. The clouds are right. He's only present when he's flying. As his fragile body drifts between coats of carbon, he thinks of me. I wait for him silently as his lungs work overtime, filled with short breaths and deep impulsions. Now he lies with dead poets. He flew straight for their graves. I lay one single rose on his chest before leaving his cold body to rest.
What if I traveled all the way to your door, gave your mother flowers, shook your father's hand? Would they know at first sight that I love their daughter? Friendship with you is velour rope around nirvana, beautiful still, but out of reach. With you, there's never enough time, and silence only when the only thing I want to say. I shouldn't, and anything else would be a lie. I hold my breath to trap words that I'm afraid will take us suddenly to a place rich with memories of drunken tears and aimless words. I find, though, you don't like going places you've been before, so we'll go somewhere new. Go somewhere new. Same time tomorrow, we'll dance this dance again. And maybe I'll make yet another sorry reach for your heart. Your stardust stained irises will move just past the Philly night skies of my own, and I'll rush quickly back to a dream. Any dream. Where you don't exist for me, not to have you, or even better, where I don't exist to fail. And I am boring. Only in the way that I have no interest in playing the games you're so good at. And I may not be too good for them, but you certainly are. And I certainly am. Presumptuous. But I've learned to always be prepared to be wrong, especially about you. I've learned that there is no proper way to prune a rose except to let the petals fall one by one and curl in the snow. And no proper way to hold a bird except to be chosen by her.
Sometimes I think about the telephone and what it means to you. A connection I've always shied away from, a series of rings gone silent. You're disappointed that I don't pick up, but don't realize that I communicate in nonverbals. I touch physical touches because I can't trust my mouth to know what to say, or my ears to tell truth from fiction. But my fingertips have been here for ages and have their prints on everything. The telephone in harsh dissonance tells me the worst things about me when I hear my voice echo from the other side and winds. Am I on speaker? Hello? Who else are you letting hear me? Connected tissues and wires, the width of my veins tangled between your fingers. And I am terrified that a connection to you means a connection to whoever else can hear. The government listens in on phone calls, you know. We're never really private or alone. The phone rings like an unfed child and I don't answer. I wonder if this is foreshadowing to my eventual motherhood, afraid to connect like she was. Drop the line and see me. How else do I know if this is real? How else do I know if you're real? Real? The sky is dark blue before the sun rises. I sit in vacated fields and wait for bugs, crawl up my arms and fill my ears like cotton. Stop calling, can't you see it's useless? The line is busy. Leave a message, text me, touch me, sit next to me. Wait for the sun to rise. Feel the air and the gap between our hands. I have never been so afraid.
Two children walk down a path littered with bombshells and broken homes. Smiling, they swing like pendulums, bumping down cobblestone streets in hazy cartwheels. Their wandering feet pull brains along behind as they explore the empty land with open hands. The world had died whining on parched tiles, but their 20 toes wriggled, and morning sprinkled light before the eyes of these children of guile and wonder who are all that were left alive. Now they peer into old buildings, see the ghosts of falling breaths that broke on dry wooden floors to the tune of jerking and popping pleasured hips and tapping fingers on linoleum tablecloths. These two lovers of light and noise and grease try to dance between finger bones and dried up wishing wells, but they stumble on a map of a place titled America. They follow the dotted lines of the map, done experimenting with bending bones, and see metal pipes reaching towards the sky. Inside, there are frozen conveyor belts on which they slip and slide into a pile of glass and metal rectangles. Eager to join the jostling, still glittering pieces, they pick up a box that reads iPhone and play catch with what once made other children not want to go outside. When opinions were traded for likes and comments, and social media was a simple soapbox stage, but simultaneously a black hole for impulse dreams, that world was sucked in. But these two children laugh and keep following the dotted line to a state house, leaving the cold metal behind. Behind white columns, they see a painting of a red and white banner in front of what seems to be a blue sky. The children look up, unaware the blue hides above the gray smog that corporate smokestacks left behind. They run down echoing halls, never knowing that clipping heels used to walk down over this tile, writing bills, retching up their soul for $1 million, tearing their heart out for two. They pull the 13 stripes and 50 stars off the wall, use them as capes, and fly over fields of dry daisies. They pluck them and put them behind ears. These are their superpowers, and they know the hidden eighth notes that hide in these strange strands of grass. Next, they find a large building with small cells and iron bars. They search in each room for treasure, but find nothing but the remnants of bland meals and bright metronome dreams that tick, 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 like the tally marks on those cement walls. They scamper through the homes of hippies turned slaves and the failed products of public housing, who were forced to huddle here in masses as if they were not born of this cracked earth. The treasure hunt is over. The children leave, walk back to the hollow from whence they came, dropping the map on the way home. Full of the day's adventure, they dance through a field of white crosses, filling ecstatic lungs with periwinkle or fuchsia or turquoise breaths, perpetrating each hollow in their neck and crease in their sweaty palm. They do not know they dance on the dead, but they tilt their heads back, pour down the sour gold, the last rays of sunshine that filter through the smog overhead. They pause on a log over a river, full of hopes or dreams or terrors or actual fluid water that slides between wishing rocks and whale bones and poo sticks, tumbling all the way down. They hold hands and sing that night in.
She is the embodiment of a black child, sticking herself into grown folks' business, not truly knowing her place in the racially charged nation she lives in. She throws around her black pride quotes that she sees used on Instagram sparingly to the friends around her, but doesn't hesitate to abruptly blurt out nigga to everyone and everything she gets frustrated at. And while she tries to tell herself that she'll stop saying it soon enough, she never does. She's all about the black franchise. She praises the rich melanin that coats her friend's skin. She doesn't even acknowledge her own. She looks into the mirror, a blend of blonde and brown individuals ending at the waist, mouth big and bold in the style of someone, just trying to find her footing between the divided footprint-stained hallways of the activist and the ignorant. She wants to believe when people say, you're beautiful, confident, but all the words she hears distort into, you're beautiful, despite your skin. She tries to tell herself that she's a 10 out of 10, that no man can walk over her because she knows her self-worth. She knows a prize when she sees one, and things staring back at her in the mirror is anything but. She is a product of self-hate, unaware of the beauty she possesses. She looks online at videos of black men degrading her. They use bodies like hers for pleasure and then rip them apart on a YouTube video. Say they rather possess a black body because it's simple, easy, less of a challenge. But they'll always go back to their white or their Asian or their Hispanic girlfriends because they know the true beauty of woman is her submissiveness. She cries to herself at night, tells herself she'll never let her daughter meet a man who will walk over her, and dries her tears before telling herself that she'll get her hair done the way he likes it.
Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, run by the Rittenhouse penthouse holders, the blocks of City Hall carried on the board shoulders, the sounds of twisted teas popping open in the woods of the Northeast, white girls shorts so tight, but their ass is covered at least. Fights at Broad and Alany, leaving broken kids lonely. Cops breaking up parties at the water tower. Sons and daughters getting handed Audis with 340 horsepower. Bikes racing down Manioc hills. Bar crawls and unlimited refills. West Philadelphia born and raised, where college kids are hazed. The Lincoln Financial standing tall. Don't mess with an Eagles fan unless you want to get in a brawl. South Philly drivers and tailgate survivors. Fishtown yuppies with their purebred puppies. Temple spirit is electrifying, but North Philadelphia is gentrifying. Towers loom over the city, lit up all pretty. The city constricting me. Whether I will stay here, there is no guarantee. But Philadelphia, Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Thank you for being my home and a place for my friends and I to roam.
Brianna.
Last week, I learned how to dismember a person, how to dissect their will, to decompose optimism. This was not a lesson I wanted to learn, but I've spent so much time staying afloat in rough tides that I'm beginning to mistake salt water for air. I think they broke me. They've silenced me. They've muffled my vocabulary. I've forgotten the sound of my own voice. Last week, I watched them dismember a person. They jammed his insecurities in his bones and then watched him break. A hush blanketed the world. No one dared say a word, not a soul willing to swim against the current. Yesterday, I learned how to fade, how to melt into sceneries, flee from perspectives, hoping to go unnoticed, to repel the sharp edges of their artillery, their words, able to pierce skin. They are out for blood. I think they broke me. I've been forcefully recruited into their army, their empire of artificial allies. They are the ambassadors of oppression. They recite hostility and provide tutorials of self-righteousness. They drop bombs on the innocent and then call them fireworks, try to justify cruelty. Yesterday, they showed me how to dismember a person. I was their unwilling test monkey. They showed me that they've got grenades for tongues. They've got mouths filled with landmines and they spit shrapnel for fun, but I refuse to be another casualty. So today, I learned what it means to be a veteran.
I learned how to become my own person. I scratched my nails along the chalkboards of silence and I watched them cringe. I learned that they contract and cower when under light. I learned that resistance doesn't sit right with them, and when they try to swallow their own medicine, it always goes down the wrong pipe. I am glad they broke me. Now, I can hand out the pieces to others as tokens of survival. This is for the ones who have to sit through lectures and demonstrations of hatred. I can only hope that they take nothing from them. So tomorrow, I will teach them all how to mend a person, how to show compassion, and how to preserve peace.
The day is almost over. I can't believe Cramney and Sayum are giving us so much work. Like, don't they know I have a life? I mean, a 5-line poem and taking notes while watching an in-class movie. What do I look like, a typewriter? Anyway, me and Saw have been hard at work all day.
To be a creative writer at CAPA is, well, it's like having your heart ripped out of your chest every single day. We truly are the unsung heroes. I mean, theater majors? What even is acting? Give me a break. No. It's putting a pen to paper that time and time again pushes even the strongest human beings to their limits. You know, we may be a ragtag group of individuals, but at the end of the day, we pull through. We are kind. We are strong. But most of all, we are creative writers. And that means that when Miss Cramney or Mr. Sayum or any other teacher tries to make us right, we will pull through. We will pull through.
Everyone had a productive 5 weeks, and I cannot wait to see your poems now.
Only 5 weeks? My GP
Are
my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when
couple quick thank yous. First of all, I'd really like to thank our stage manager, Delia, who stepped up when I ran through a couple other ones, and she just started showing up every single day. And Jada, who was ready to be here last week but couldn't be here tonight. Milan and Amani, thank you for all your choreography and teaching everybody all that you know. Cass on lights, Michael on sound. Dr. Gobig, thank you for everything. Thank you for helping me with lights and basically anything else that I need all the time. And just sending back flowers for you. And for Mrs. Beaver, thank you for all your support all the time. I think the seniors have a few thank yous, but I have to say, you guys surprised me in so many ways, and it was such a pleasure to work with you. You were so easy and cooperative and helpful. They even cleaned the whole entire theater one day, picking up trash all over, and just helping everything every morning, getting things arranged for the rest of the day. So.
So first, we'd also like to thank Ms. Beaver. You came in with us and we really love you. And thanks for all the candy and stuff like that, and just talking to us. And so first of the writing teachers, we'd like to call up Ms. Har. I'm talking to you from here. So we already gave you your note and your gift because we thought you weren't going to be here, but it's such an honor to have you here. And I know you were our teacher in freshman year, but you really did help us a lot, and we still remember the exercises you did with us, and it's so great, and we use that. Sorry. Next, we'd like to ask Mr. Ip to come up. Where is Mr. Ip? Okay, she has a gift for you, and then we'd also like to thank you for being a part of our freshman year. Our clan, you were really great, and you were some of our English teachers too. It was great having you. You're an incredible teacher. We'd also like to call up Miss Linudi, or Okay. Karita has your gift, but we'd like to thank you too for being an incredible fiction teacher. And no, you don't teach writing anymore, but we miss you. We'd like now to call up Miss Freshie. She's not here. Okay, well, thank you to Miss Freshy, even though she's not here. Okay, now we'd like to call up Mr. Shelby. I know we all give you a really hard time with everything, and we say we hate you, but we really love you. Susan has your gift, and yeah, so you're really great. And now, Mr. Sayu. Of course, your senior resident had to give you your gift. Okay. So, you're great, and we love having you this year, and we loved having you sophomore year. You're amazing. And then, yeah, so before we do the last person, we do want to bring Miss Cranley up here. You've been so incredible to all of us. You've just inspired us to be creative, like amazing writers, and you've just been such a helpful person in our lives. I know all of us can say that. You've talked to us countless hours about, you know, things we're dealing with, and you've just talked us through high school. And so we got you an extra special gift, and that's a book of poetry from all of us and letters to you, and then at the end of the book we have a little illustration, and then the rest of the book is for you to fill in with your poetry. Last but very not least, where's Officer Pilla? Okay, you have been truly one of the greatest people in this entire school to us. You're so amazing. You're so fun to be around. You tell us the greatest stories, and you've just overall been such an incredible person to us, and we're not gonna do what Charlie did last year and get you in trouble, but just know we really love you, and we thank you for everything. Yeah. And then thank you again to everyone else who worked on Writers Cafe with us, you know, all of you guys and everyone who worked backstage back there. Thank you, Ms. Gobing.
Thank you again. Enjoy your evening. Be safe.